Again, mortality rate, the lowest anywhere in the world. And we want to get this done, and we want to get our country going again.
It's a false narrative to take comfort in a lower rate of death. There's so many other things that are very dangerous and bad about this virus. Don't get yourself into false complacency.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, with that word of caution for those taking comfort in a lower death rate due to the coronavirus, people like President Trump. By the way, we should add the United States does not have the lowest mortality rate from the virus anywhere in the world, as the president said. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Wednesday, July 8th. I'm Willie Geist. Joe and Mika have the morning off. We woke up this morning to the news that there now are more than 3 million reported cases of coronavirus in the United States, with record days in a number of states, including Texas and California. Against that backdrop, President Trump is touting the administration's response to the virus, saying, quote, "We're in a good place," pointing to the United States' mortality rate. Even as we just heard, Dr. Fauci publicly calls that a false narrative. The president also is pushing state and local leaders across the country to reopen schools and colleges this fall. New modeling predicts a national spike, though, through those first months of school. Meanwhile, the Trump administration announcing it will formally withdraw from the World Health Organization early next year. Vice President Joe Biden says if he's elected, that will not happen. Meanwhile, Dr. Deborah Birx says officials were caught off guard with this latest wave of coronavirus. During a panel discussion with the Atlantic Council, the coordinator of the White House Coronavirus Task Force said, quote, "None of us really anticipated the amount of community spread that began in really our 18 to 35-year-old age group." She added, quote, "This is an age group that was so good and so disciplined through March and April, but when they saw people out and about on social media, they all went out and about." Dr. Birx also told the Wharton Business Daily podcast that instead of being more cautious, some states, quote, "stepped on the gas while reopening." As I said, Texas set another record on Tuesday. For the first time since the beginning of the pandemic, the state reported more than 10,000 new cases in a single day. The record-breaking surge comes as hospitalizations grow at an alarming rate. The Associated Press reports nearly 80% of the state's hospital beds are in use, and intensive care units are filling up in some of the biggest cities, including San Antonio and Houston. As of yesterday, nearly 9,300 people were reported hospitalized in Texas with COVID-19. The pandemic also straining Florida's health system. State health officials there say more than 40 hospitals, some in the state's most populated counties, have either maxed out of their ICU capacity or are close to running out of intensive care beds. As of yesterday, more than 5,000 patients were using roughly 83% of the state's ICU beds. According to Florida's health agency, that leaves a little more than 1,000 beds free at this moment. This comes as the state suffered a 30% surge in new cases just from last week. Florida, which has nearly 214,000 confirmed cases, is struggling with the third worst outbreak in the country after New York and California. But yesterday, President Trump seemed to downplay the challenges we're seeing across the country.
Hospitals, I think Florida, basically, you're talking about Florida, California, more than any place else. Many other states are in very fine shape. They're doing very well. But we have some areas that look like we were going to escape, and they were going to escape, and all of a sudden they became hot, like Florida, like California, like a couple of others. But I think you're going to see with all of the things that we're doing and with all of the therapeutics that are coming out, and then ultimately the vaccine, we're going to be in very good shape very soon.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.